Hello. So today was my 2-week post-op appointment. Everything was good. The appointment wasn't with my surgeon. I think he was on vacation or something. So it was with one of the other surgeons in the office. And that poor man was just overloaded. Like, you could tell. In the waiting room, there were so many people. And when he came in, he was like, yeah, I'm pinch hitting for your doctor. How's everything going? Da 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 da. I mean, he was really kind of rushed, which was fine, honestly. I didn't have a whole lot of questions. The couple questions I did have, he answered with no problems. He looked at my incisions. They weighed me. I'm still at 199. I don't even care because I can feel it in my body that the weight is coming off. I feel better. Big non-scale victory. So this isn't something to brag about, but yesterday I forgot to take my blood pressure pill. And this morning I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to take all my pills with me and I'll take them in the morning. Because I had like 500 things to do this morning. I had to take my son to school. I had to come back home, pick up my daughter. And then I had to go pick my mom up because she was dropping her car off to get it worked on. And then my daughter was with me. I took her to school. I had to get to the doctor's appointment. I mean, it was a lot. So it slipped my mind. I didn't take my blood pressure medication 2 days in a row. And so when she took my blood pressure, she was like, your blood pressure is 114 over, I think she said 62 or something like that. And I was like, really? Really? My blood pressure, if I don't take my pills like back to back exactly how I'm supposed to, my blood pressure will shoot up, and shoot up badly. So I'm not going to say my blood pressure is under control until I have a curly Q just kind of sticking out. Until I have a doctor tell me that it's under control. But I'm going to say that it's on its way, which makes me incredibly happy. And so there was that. And I don't know, do you count that as a non-scale victory when you forget to take your medication but your blood pressure's really good? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take every victory that I can get right now. So the doctor was like, yeah, you can go ahead and start your stage 2 diet, which is right here. And actually I have all of that in my little booklet, and I've been reading over it religiously because I'm like, I can have some real food after I get clearance. Even though I have cheated a little bit. Like, I had the egg drop soup and I had the half of scrambled egg. But I don't know. It was good. So now onto the frustrating part of the day. I wanted to see, my son has a cell phone. It's a prepaid cell phone with Verizon, and I don't want to buy him. I don't want to put him on my plan because he's 13. So if, like, let's say he gets a bad report card, I don't want to feel like I can't take his phone and that I'm paying for a phone that's just sitting there and I'm just paying for it. With a prepaid phone, guess what? He messes up, I get the phone, I just don't pay the bill the next month. I'm on a budget, so I have to think about these things. And not only that, but I don't think that a 13-year-old should be running around with an iPhone, because I learned my lesson with my oldest, and where am I going? There we go. And she lost more than one phone. Actually, one fell in the toilet. And we were at Dollar General, and she comes to me and she's like, Mom, my phone fell in the toilet. And I was like, why were you, how did your phone fall into the toilet? And she had left it in the toilet of Dollar General. Like, I was supposed to go in there and fish it out. I was like, oh no, honey, fish it out. stick it in your purse and wash your hands really good, and we'll get that straight when we get home. Which it turns out the phone was just completely dead. We put it in rice and it kind of worked after that. But anyways, long story short, I learned my lesson. You don't give a 13-year-old an expensive cell phone. Now, if you want to, that's your prerogative. I ain't doing it. So, I'm gonna move just a little bit here. Okay, so my mom said I have an old Boost cell phone if you want to use it for Devin, which is my son. And I was like, oh, that's cool. If you don't mind, I'd love to have it. So she hadn't used that phone in probably a year. She ended up going with a plan with, I don't even know who she went with. But, so I get the phone and I use my debit card and I went on to Boost Mobile, and you know, I set everything up, paid the $45, $50, whatever it was, and it said you have to turn the phone off and turn it back turn the phone off and turn it back on to activate the service. So I was like, okay, no problem. And so I did that and it didn't work, and I was like, okay. So then we had to go. We went to like a Halloween parade, not parade, but festival last night. And by the time I got home, I was tired, just didn't think about it. And so I looked at it this morning and it still was nothing. So I turned it off, turned it back on, still nothing. Well, I live out like in a very rural area, like basically in the woods. And so I was like, maybe once I get closer to the city, it'll, you know, it'll grab whatever signal it needs to and it'll do its thing. And it didn't. So as I was leaving the doctor's office, I said, let me stop by Boost Mobile and have them look at it. Well, let me backtrack just a little bit. When I signed up, there was something going on their website where it would only let me do, even though I put in my zip code and every zip code that I could think of around me, it would only let me have a New York phone number. So I was going to go into the Boost store anyways to get that changed, because I didn't want him to have a New York number. That's silly. So I went into the store and I said, I'm trying to activate this phone, but it won't activate. And it gave me a New York phone number. And if we can get that switched, that would be great. You know, even if I had to pay $5 or $10 to get it switched, whatever. It's stupid, but I would do it. So she was like, okay, well, I need the phone number on the account. And I said, and this is my bad. I'm not blaming her for this at all. But I said I didn't write it down because it was a New York number and I wanted to get that changed. And she said, oh, well, I need the phone number in order to get into the account. And so I said, well, I don't have it. And I showed her the email that I had, which had like the last 4 digits of the account number, but I had nothing with the phone number. And she was like, the only way that I can get into it is with the phone number. And so she said, you're going to have to call customer service. Well, my cell phone was dead. So I said, I don't have a phone to use to call them. And so she hands me the store phone. And I said, do you have the phone number? And she just looks at me. And I'm like, okay. I'm trying to be patient at this point. And she said, she took the phone back and she was like, you're going to have the phone number in order for us to do anything. And I said, well, I don't have it. And yes, that's my fault for not writing it down, but I didn't think that I would need it, considering that, as far as I knew, the activation went through. I got a confirmation and everything. And she was like, well, there's nothing that we can do. And I said, so are you telling me that I'm out $45? And she goes, and I'm not the type of person to yell or get loud or get rude or nasty. But I looked at her and I was like, oh, no, I'm not. And she said, well, you're going to have to call your bank and tell them that this didn't go through. And so I took the phone, put it in my purse, and I said, thank you for your time, and I left. And so I did everything. I tried to go through my browser history to see if I could possibly bring up, but I figured that I wouldn't be able to, and I wasn't able to. But I was hoping I could bring up the page that had the phone number on it. I looked through my email. I tried to sign into my account, which it said account not found or something like that. And I'm like, seriously? So I don't know what I'm going to do with this whole Boost Mobile thing. I think my bank is going to charge me $25 to stop payment, which I work hard for my money, and this is really burning my ass, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, okay, I'm really frustrated, I need to go, and I've got other things to do, so I decided to drive through downtown Richmond on my way back. And if you're on my Instagram, you probably saw the pictures. I took a couple pictures when I was at like red lights, and so that calmed me down. There's something about driving through downtown Richmond that just really, I calmed down. I think it's all the chaos, which sounds weird, I know, but like I thrive on a hectic, energetic environment. So that brought me down. Then I went to the mall, I got my walk-in, and that was pretty much my day. So, good doctor's appointment, bad Boost Mobile experience. And I walked. I need to go back to work. My life is getting kind of boring. Alright, y'all. Have a great day. Let me know how you're doing. Like, subscribe, all that other stuff. And that's all I got for you. Bye!